everybody, I'm Garrett, and you're watching Love and Bang Bang. Caleb, come here for just a second. Tell us who this video's for.
AR American. I said that on several other videos and Garrett keeps editing it out.
Oh, sorry, I keep forgetting. Anyway, this video is going out to AR American because he has a thing for these 1872 open tops, and he's always reminding me that I have not yet made a video on this. So I got a video coming out in the future, obviously in the Colt series, that will delve deep into the history of the 1872 open top. So what is the 1872 open top? Well, first of all, I have to explain that there are conversions that look like this but are not this. Colt started making conversions around 1870, and they would make them clear through to 1878, converting the old cap and ball revolver open tops. However, in 1871, they went into development of a military gun that would be purpose-built from the ground up as a cartridge firing gun. This was their first attempt, basically. By the way, guys, this one is in .45 Colt. We'll get to that in just a second. But anyway, the military decided that they wanted to go with a top strap design, so Richard Mason went back to the drawing board on this, put a top strap on it, did some other changes, and came out with what we know today as the Single Action Army model of 1873. But this was the first one, and it was basically just a trials gun. They only made about 7,000 of them altogether. Put a few of them on the civilian market. You know, that's not a huge number. You're running into one of these in the West is going to be kind of a rare thing, considering all the other guns that are out there. But these are not originals. This is a replica, like I said, in .45 Colt. Originals would have been chambered in .44 Henry, outside of a handful that would have been chambered in .38 rimfire, and I believe those were Russian government test guns. But that is why these guns today, when you buy replicas from Uberti, this one is a Uberti, obviously. This is actually a Stoger import, and they're not exactly like the originals. For the first thing is, they have a center fire firing pin on them, where the originals would not have had that at all. They have a safety in the hammer. It's a little bit different. So the originals would not have the top of the gun right here all the way closed at the back of the receiver. It would have had a notch cut in the side, where a notch on the side of the hammer could go through and strike the rim of the cartridge. They were quite a bit smaller than the replicas today. The cylinders were smaller. These cylinders have to be bigger to take .45 Colt, which also means that in reality, the frames have to be slightly bigger because the cylinder has to be longer to take .45 Colt than .45 Henry. But other than that, they're pretty good representation. Not a conversion, built from the ground up. Only put out, they started development in 1871, only put them out in 1872, 1873, only made 7,000 of them. However, they are cool guns and they look nice, and I enjoy shooting this one. It's probably my favorite revolver of all time. In true 11 Bang Bang fashion, even though you can shoot smokeless powder through these, you don't want to shoot a heavy smokeless load. I wouldn't, as AR American could tell you, buffalo bore pressure smokeless loads probably aren't good. However, you can get a fairly high pressure black powder load through this, and that's what we're doing right now, because these are what we call the plowboy load. This is 255 grain bullet, I'm sorry, on top of 40 grains of black powder with a Magnum pistol primer. Don't let anybody tell you that you cannot get 40 grains of powder in a modern case. Do it all the time. Also, don't let anybody tell you that you can't shoot hot .45 Colt black powder through these open tops. There's probably 2,000 rounds of these plowboy loads through this gun, and it's just as tight as the day it came from the factory. So we're just gonna load her up here. We're gonna load one, skip one, load 4 more, because this gun, since it's kind of like the originals, does not have a 4-click hammer. That would not come along until the 1873 model. All right, let's knock down some of these railroad plates if we can. Plowboy loads hit like a hammer. We didn't knock any of them off though. We got them swinging. Let's go for the jug. And I believe that is it. 40 grains, original civilian load for a .45 Colt. Hot stuff. Won't hurt one of these, I promise you. At least it's never hurt this one. All right, guys, 8-inch plate, 100 yards, no promises. Caleb, see if you can see where they hit if I miss.
Didn't look like you missed.
Those plowboy loads hit pretty hard, even 100 yards, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Should I quit or should I go out for 350? 350. I'm gonna hold over his head. Man-sized target. Wow!
Don't shoot that way anymore. You're 2 for 2.
I just hit a man-sized target at 350 yards. Not even a man-sized target, it's actually a half torso. And for those of you that don't think it's that far, you see that H-brace holding that thing up? That thing from top to ground is 10 foot tall and 8 foot across. So, yeah, it's a long way out there. The old 1872 open top. Might be because I've shot this gun a lot in my life, but I don't know. It might also be luck. I'm not going to rent it. We're not going to shoot any more long-range shots. All right. Let's work on some of these gongs. Center. Uh-oh, I missed a close-range target. No. Now it's all downhill from here. Well, maybe not all downhill. That's that for that load. Let's load up a few more, let's load up some 30 grain standard 1880 military loads. A little story on this particular revolver right here. This was my dad's. He got it back when they first started coming out from Uberti with these things. And he had it for a long time, and then on my wedding day, he knew it was one of my favorite guns, and he handed it to me as my wedding present, and so it's probably always going to be one of the most special guns in my or our collection. Okay, everybody, here we go again. We have we are loaded up now with a 30 grain load, which is typical of the United States military loads from the late 1880s, 1890s. 28 30 grain load. Haven't shot those a lot, and this gun almost always shoot the plowboy loads, and I know where to hold with those on this gun. Haven't shot these a lot through this, so we're going to see what we can do. We're here at about 10 yards. Let's go to work on the rail. Can't beat that with a big stick. It's something to do, guys, with the fact that when you have a gun that's been your gun for a long time and you shoot it a lot, I don't know, it tends to shoot good for you, I guess. And by the way, even with just 30 grains, those are no slouch of a load. Okay, let's take a few more over here and see what we can do out at 40 yards. Still shooting those 30 grain loads. Like I said, I'm not real used to them, especially at any kind of range. So let's go up the hill here to 40 yards and see what these 30 grain loads will do if we can hit that target. They seem to hit just slightly higher than the 40 grain loads. Probably because the 40 grain loads are getting out the barrel faster in the recoil. Alright, I don't know if you can see it, but right down here at the base of this center rack here, there is a on-ground knockdown target that just got knocked down. Cowboy Bob, you're gonna die. And we are empty. Alright, let's let Caleb shoot it.
See how bad I can miss.
Hi. Caleb has loaded a 30 grains of black powder and a 4.57 round ball in this cartridge. Fits right in there. Let's go see what this thing will do to Ghost the Cowboy Bob. I don't hit him as hard. Well, that was downright pleasant to shoot. Like I've said before, this is one of my favorite pistols. I've probably had more rounds through this pistol than any other one that I've ever owned. And it kind of shows, doesn't it? I mean, it shoots really well for me. And one thing's for sure, even though this sight is really hard to pick up in a hurry, this little bitty sight here on the back of the barrel, it's not in the hammer like a lot of the other, like the conversions. This is actually on the back of the barrel. But once you do take your time to actually aim with it, it's such a fine sight. It's very, very easy to target shoot with. The longest range hunting shot I've actually made with this was I shot a rabbit, jackrabbit, right through the head at 75 yards. And I kind of surprised myself when I did it. And so yeah, hunting gun, I would not actually be scared to take a deer with this out to a reasonable distance of 25 yards or so. Well guys, that's all I have for the 1872 open top imported by Uberti. Not exactly a replica of the original, but one of the best shooting replicas I've ever had, at least this one in particular. So anyway, as always, trust in God, keep your powder dry. Bye.